Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy DJ Playboy back with another episode, man. On this one, we got to talk about the tape everybody's seen. Yup, Diddy's back in the news again for all the wrong reasons. Also, Kendrick Lamar takes beef all the way to #1 of the Billboard charts. Shaq and Shannon Sharpe seen everybody else out here beefing and figured, yo, square up. And the WNBA said they are giving all their teams chartered flights this season. But why is Caitlin Clark and her team getting it first? What's going on here? We got that and much, much more. It's a Perfect Talk podcast, baby. Let's get it. What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast. You know, we back here for another episode. Happy to be here with you. Happy to be rocking out with you, man. You know, it's hot in the studio. Memorial Day's coming up, so I had to hit y'all with the tank top look. You know what I'm saying? Show off some of these triceps, biceps, traps, and all that. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, go check us out on the YouTube right now. Right there. Go to YouTube. Search Perfect Talk podcast. We up on there, baby, holding it down. But let's get right into it. It's time for Plicker's Spotlight. You know, we like to start things off with just a story that might have been the biggest story of the week, might have been a small one that didn't get no shine, but either way, Plicker's gonna shine a light on it. And we got to talk about your guy, Sean Diddy Combs. That's right. Used to be known as Puff Daddy, used to be known as P. Diddy. Now he's just known as a wild boy out here tripping in these streets, man. A 2016 video resurfaced of Sean Diddy Combs beating up his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel. It was hard to watch. It was wild. It was reminiscent of the Ray Rice video or the Quavo video, but it was just like 20 times worse, you know what I mean? And it is another domino to fall in the fall from grace for Sean Combs. Man, this guy was like the biggest musician in the game when I was a kid, you know what I mean? I looked up to him. It was somebody that I thought was actually musically talented, somebody that whether, you know, he's a scumbag or not, did change the music game for hip-hop. Like, you can't deny that. And unfortunately, like a lot of other scumbags out there, just because he's musically talented or great as a business mogul doesn't mean he's a decent person. And he definitely has done some wild things to Cassie in particular. You know, some of her accusations were extremely wild and worse than what we've seen in this video. But the fact that this video has come to light and has surfaced kind of makes it hard to like deny some of the other allegations that we hear that are much worse. On Friday, May 17th, CNN released a video of Cassie Ventura. You see her in a hotel. Sean Combs comes down the hall. He strikes her, he tosses her to the ground, kicks her several times, attempts to drag her, walks away, comes back, tosses her in a corner, throws a vase at her. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane. It's crazy that this was actually going on. They were like a public couple. They were people that people knew that were famous. You know what I mean? It's insane in that regard. And not only that, this isn't a hotel. You know what I mean? Like, hotel surveillance, hotel security is on point. Hotel security is watching things at all times. Like, that's how TMZ gets these videos. So not only did they not do anything in the moment, they also made sure this tape wasn't released for about 8 years. That's nuts. And it shows you just maybe how powerful Sean Combs was, not only in the music industry, but, you know, everywhere that he went in the world. And after 2 days of social media having a firestorm with the tape that was released by CNN, Sean Combs came forward and made an apology.
In your life, sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Yeah, that's right. He actually didn't mention Cassie Ventura by name at all in his apology, but said that he takes full responsibility for his actions and that he is disgusted. Now, Ventura's legal team has responded. Combs' most recent statement is more about himself than the many people he has hurt. When Cassie and multiple other women came forward, he denied everything and suggested that his victims were looking for a payday. That he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false shows his pathetic desperation, and no one will be swayed by his disingenuous words. Cassie's a lawyer, Meredith Firetalk, not holding back any punches with that right there. And It's insane, like I said, the fall from grace that Diddy has had. Once again, I was a huge fan of this guy at a time when it wasn't even cool to like be a fan of his, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I grew up in Brooklyn, and people were like, you know, that's not real hip hop, that's shiny suit. Like it or not, you know what I mean? Diddy brought change to, like, you know what I mean, that I think was needed, that I think brought in the bling bling era, that brought in a lot of millions of dollars that came into hip hop, along with Jay-Z at that time, with the Snoop Dogs. You know, they took hip hop to a level where it wasn't just in the hood, that it went beyond that. And you saw these people in movies. You saw these people making $1 million music videos. You saw these people changing the game. And, you know, Diddy was one of those tastemakers. But I remember some point in my teenage years, particularly with three people. It was Diddy, it was Russell Simmons, and it was Dame Dash. And I noticed the way that they spoke to people in a way that was super disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I always question, like, is that necessary for the business? Would the business not be successful if you spoke to people in a different manner? Would they not be able to get things done? Would they not be movers and shakers if they didn't have to belittle people, curse at people, make them feel lesser than? And I'm not sure, because, you know, that doesn't only exist in the music industry and the hip hop industry, but that exists in a lot of other industries as well. But I noticed that, and it's funny that two of those three individuals are finding themselves on the receiving end of some salacious allegations. And Dame Dash, you know what I mean, what, like him or not, isn't exactly where he was in the music industry back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now, does any of this represent exactly the illegal behavior that Sean Combs has done? No, but do you really have to make people walk to Brooklyn to get you cheesecake if they want to make music? I don't even see the correlation there. And this is something that happened 20 years ago, making the band, you know what I mean? And there's something in that level of disrespect, if he's willing to do that publicly, that you can only imagine the level of disrespect that the people around him had to endure privately. And it came to light. You saw he didn't treat Cassie like an equal. He didn't treat her as you should treat your girlfriend, as your lover. He treated her like a piece of property, you know, worse than you would treat a pet, a dog, you know what I mean? A dog, an animal. You wouldn't treat your animal like that. You know, we can all sit here and crucify Sean Combs for, you know, the actions she's done. And I'm sure if we all had our worst moments caught on videotape, we'd be issuing apologies just like Sean Combs did. But I can honestly say that the things that he's been accused of is disgusting, irrehensible, not behavior that fits anyone who would call themselves a role model. So unfortunately, this seems to be another nail in the casket of the career of Sean Diddy Combs. And, you know, many of his great achievements, many of the things that he's done will be forgotten because of the terrible acts that he's done and the rumors and the allegations. And although the term no Diddy nowadays is used as a replacement for like, hey, yo, I think we all got to look ourselves in the mirror and make sure that ain't no Diddy in anything that we do. There are also allegations that Sean Combs paid $50,000 to Intercontinental Century City for the hallway security footage not to be released. And now we're going to move on to another segment called Winners and Losers, man. Somebody got to win the week. Somebody got to lose the week, man. And you know how it's going down, man. First up, in the winners category, I got to shout out my guy, Rudy Gobert, man. I gave Rudy Gobert a hard time back in 2020 because if you don't know, he was joking around, playing around, you know, just having a good old jolly time while a pandemic was going on and touching microphones, fake coughing. Next thing you know, my man pops up positive for COVID-19. Shut the whole world down. You know what I mean? He also, you know, caught some jokes when Draymond Green just went full Draymond and threw him in the headlock. But a lot of people was trying to come for Rudy Gobert's head after the Defensive Player of the Year decided that he was going to miss Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals for the birth of his first child. Now, I guess the plan for Rudy Gobert was his fiance went into labor. He was going to stay with her while she went into labor, make it back to the game in time. But there were high winds going on in Colorado, and that threw down his travel plans. So Rudy Gobert was not able to make it for Game 2 against the Denver Nuggets. Now, hindsight's 2020, and where I'm sitting from now, I already know the Minnesota Timberwolves have defeated the Denver Nuggets. So it all's well that ends well. And this could be a different story if they didn't. But even so, they won the game without Rudy. Game 2, Minnesota came through. Shout out my guy Ant-Man, Karl Anthony Towns, everybody over there. Jamal Murray throwing his heating pad couldn't even stop him. You know what I mean? But a lot of sports pundits had a little smoke for Rudy Gobert. Gilbert Arenas, Draymond Green, Shannon Sharpe, Ocho Cinco. Now, they were a little bit more forgiving, and they understood, you know what I mean, go do what you got to do. But in terms of Gilbert and Draymond, they were kind of like...
We got an interesting wrinkle for Game 2. Rudy Gobert is questionable for the game. due to personal reasons, that's becoming a father for the first time.
I mean, missing this game for that baby. I see you.
It's the baby, bro. It's gonna be there when you get back. We hope.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Whatever you about to think you about to do with the baby, he gonna be asleep. Like I get you want to be with your wife and smile and stuff, and your good NBA healthcare insurance.
Right.
It's because of you playing.
So first child, not as important as game 2 of second round playoff.
Man, listen,
bro. She in the hospital with great doctors. You taking your goofy ass down
he
there.
He saw the baby, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right.
You IG daddy. Just do whatever. Just off the phone. I'll see you after the game.
Game off, number one, because Rudy was going to miss the game. And I just felt like I'm a father of 4. I love my kids. And I love my wife. But she's going to have to hold off for me just a few more hours for a playoff game. Like, I just, me personally, number one, congratulations to him. Anytime we bring new life into this world, it's a special thing. And that's something, as I said, as a father of 4, that I don't take for granted at all. But I also don't try not to take this game for granted.
Yo, be with your team. Do that. She can handle it. She can handle that. And you know, that's obviously now just seems like a clown comment to make, you know what I mean? It's also a clown comment to make just in general. Like, 1, that's his first child. 2, it ain't no guarantees once a woman goes into labor that she gonna make it out on the other side of that or the baby. And I'm sure even if they didn't make it past that round, his team would have understood why he wanted to be there. I think every man who plays a sport or doesn't should want to be there whenever their significant other or someone that they got pregnant goes into labor. Like, that's just the stand-up thing to do. No judgment against the brothers who felt differently, that they were moved in a different manner. But Rudy Gobert, you know what I mean, he comes out getting the last laugh. He's moving on to the next round. He got to see his kid get born. He ain't got to go back home to an angry wife because, you know, happy wife, happy life. And he went in the week. So, Rudy Gobert, salute to you, brother. You did the right thing, and it all worked out in the end. I don't know if we could forgive all that pandemic stuff, but, you know what I mean, we working in the right direction. Let's see how y'all finish up the season. And on the loser side, it's your boy, King Combs. Of all the weeks to make a song, the week that his song drops, his dad hotel surveillance video drops. And it ain't a good video. You know, it ain't the More Money, More Problems video. That was a game-changing video. It ain't that. Neither is this song called Pick a Side by King Combs. Now, people say he was dissing 50 Cent on it. 50 Cent has even replied on social media. But I don't know if he was dissing or if more so had the strategy of, let me mention 50. Because at least if I mention him, it'll get the people talking. It'll get the people going, like Will Ferrell says. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was more so a strategy. But not only did he mention 50's name and references his song Many Men, he also kind of taunts the federal agents that raided the houses that he and his dad live at with lines like,
police raid the crib like they think we selling crack, but we out here selling tracks, multi-million-dollar plaques.
There's another line in there that they think is about 50 where he says, he must think we this.
Knock them walls down like when them Fetty boys running both our cribs. Too bad they ain't know we bought the one next door, cause that's the one they missed.
Too bad they ain't know we bought the one next door, cause that's the one they missed.
I dare one of you to get and scream out no Diddy.
Everybody say no Diddy. I said no Diddy about 20 times already in this podcast. Gucci Man got a whole song. Ain't that the chorus? The whole world talking no Diddy right now, man. Even Diddy said no Diddy. He seen the Cassie tape, was like no Diddy. Christian Combs, whoever told you to make this song, put this song out. I mean, this could have been something y'all just played in the crib. You could have put this on SoundCloud or something. Like, the world did not need this. Y'all did not need more negative attention. Y'all definitely don't need more beef with 50 Cent because that guy don't stop. I seen him post something about Ja Rule today. It's 2024. And also, people, we got to learn. You ain't got to win the court of public opinion, especially when you still dealing with real court. Real court. Dad ain't out the woods yet. Dad's rich. You know what I'm saying? He got lawyer money, but he ain't out the woods yet. Y'all ain't gonna win that public opinion battle either, so just let that go. I say, new image, you know what I mean? Maybe switch up the name from King Combs, start doing your own thing, rebrand, because this ain't it. And to all the sons of, like, rich rappers, or even just rich people in general, y'all ain't gotta play this gangster role. This is my advice to y'all. All the kids in the hood, they wanna be y'all. Y'all got money. Y'all living the dream. Only thing you need to learn how to do is learn how to fight. Go to a jiu-jitsu class, go to a boxing gym, but spend all that energy. Don't be in the studio, the image of a drug dealer, image of a rapper. You ain't got to do all that. Know how to throw them hands. Somebody gonna try you one time. One good time. And you just gotta show them what it is. Ain't nobody gonna mess with you no. But y'all wasting a lot of energy trying to be something that y'all not. Because ain't nobody not gonna say no Diddy. No Diddy might be here longer than Pause, to be honest with you. So get used to that, King Combs. And we moving on right now to my favorite segment here on the Perfect Talk podcast, and it's called Have You Heard? I hear stories in the news, I see headlines, and I bring them to the table to talk to my people here at the Perfect Talk podcast just to see if y'all heard. First up, Kendrick Lamar debuts at #1 with Not Like Us on the Billboard charts, man. That boy is not playing with y'all, man. I told y'all, go check out the YouTube right now so you can see all the traps, triceps, biceps, you know what I'm saying, pecs and all that. Because when I'm in the gym, I'm bumping that, they not like us, they not like us, they not like us. I ain't gonna hold y'all. When the whole beef was going on, it showed me that I'm getting older. It showed me that I'm in a new place in life because I've been starting my mornings off working out and meditations. So to wake up to hearing that you is a chomo and a pedo, and then hearing that this guy is beating up his wife, I don't need that first thing in the morning. That ain't starting my day off right. That ain't getting me off on the good energy. So although I was consuming the beef and I was into it, and I was, you know, the person in my crew that was passing up, yo, they just dropped a new track. Yo, new track just dropped, you know what I mean? I felt like I was academics up in this bitch. I'm saying, but like, it wasn't the right kind of energy. But now that some time's passed, we moved on, we got out of the emotion of it all. That Not Like Us is a banger. Not only is it an insane like track to bump in your car in the summer, like I said, a nice little gym track, but he really breaks it down on that third verse of how Drake's been moving in this industry. And no shade at Drake, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely can't even use the word fan anymore because of what Kendrick's done, man. Freaky ass nigga, you was a 69 god. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like Drake's music and I like Drake's career, but it's like, yo, Kendrick broke it down. Like, you ain't moving the right way, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you run into Atlanta every time you trying to get some shine, you trying to pop, and it's crazy because it's a West Coast song. Like, it's a West Coast pride song, kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's also a little crazy because it's like, you got lyrics like,
freaky ass nigga, he a 69 god.
Certified you know what I'm saying? Like, what? I feel like in 6 months we're gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about? But right now in that moment, it is knocking, it is hitting. You think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga? Yo, it's a crazy song, man. Also, Euphoria is at #3. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, #1 and #3, man. Euphoria set this whole thing off in terms of Kendrick's responses. Now, I won't say set the whole thing off because Kendrick kind of set it off with Like That, which is actually still in the top 10 too. That's crazy. But yeah, Euphoria jumped from #11 all the way up to #3, and that's another deep one too. And another gym banger. I can't front. On the treadmills, that be hitting. That definitely inspires me to, you know what I'm saying, especially when that beat change up. So, yo, Kendrick, you did it, man. And shout out to Drake too. Family Matters is debuted at #7 on the Billboard charts. So the fact that these diss tracks are actually proving to be very beneficial for these brothers in terms of chart placement, radio spins, streams, all the above. You know what I mean? It is insane. Now that some time has passed, you know, obviously I think Kendrick has been crowned the victor. But I think this battle's been good for everybody. I don't think any of their careers are going anywhere. I don't think anybody's taking any of the beef or the allegations too serious. I think if you didn't like Drake before, you got more reason not to like him now. If you didn't really care for Kendrick before, this isn't going to make you team Kendrick. You might have a little bit more respect for the brother, but I haven't lost respect for Drake in terms of rhyming skills, you know what I'm saying? And rap is one of those things where it probably would have been beneficial for Drake to not even step into it, but it's like, you're not going to get the respect of the people by avoiding the fight. Whether you felt like fighting that day or not, you got to jump into the fight, and sometimes you need them humbling moments to further your career. But salute to Kendrick, man. Not Like Us, #1. Euphoria, #3. Like That, jumping from 8 to #6. And salute Drake, you know what I'm saying, coming in at #7 with Family Matters. So big week for all the brothers out here in the hip hop game. And like, hopefully we could just get back to making dope music. Give me something positive to start my morning off, y'all. There's only even so many days I could do with the certified pedophile. You know what I'm saying? It's, hey, throw some Larry June on or something in this. But you know, if we talking beefs, ever since Cat Williams set it off at the beginning of the year, comedians, athletes, rappers, R&B singers, you name it, they beefing. Cat Williams went to Shannon Sharpe's show. Now, Shannon Sharpe has been finding himself in some beef ever since, and it hasn't stopped yet, man. With their own little Drake and Kendrick feud going on, Shannon Sharpe and Shaquille O'Neal are beefing. Now, this started because in an interview with Nikola Jokic. Shaquille O'Neal said, yo, I would have gave the MVP to SGA over there in OKC. You know what I'm saying? He thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserved it more than Jokic did. And Shaq is that dude. He's going to tell you straight to your face. If he said it behind your back, he's going to say it when he on the interview. But it don't mean no disrespect. It's like, yo, I would say it whether you was here or not. You know what I mean? Some people actually take that as respect. But Shannon Sharpe was like, nah, you a little funny style there, bruh. You not feeling him getting the MVP because you only got the one. Whereas Jokic just got his third in 4 years. And that set Shaq off. Shaq called Shannon Sharpe's podcast a bullshit podcast. Shaq said Shannon Sharpe ain't even in the top 10 of his league, so why he talking to him? Shaq went on to say,
You took me sticking up for SGA as jealousy of Joker. Shows how smart you are and how you say anything to get clicks. So here's some clickbait for you. If you ain't ranked in the top 10 of your profession, you can't speak on me. Don't forget, I know what you did to get where you at. Me jealous sounds like you jealous. I know you're trying to stay relevant by gossiping on your podcast. We don't believe you. You need more people. And in case you forgot, 4 rings, 3 final MVPs, top 50 and top 75. Google me. And to be frank, all this new success you got, you're still under me.
Damn, Shaq. Why he do Meet the Sharps? You know what I'm saying? The same way to Meet the Grams made me feel, dog. Sharpe responded by saying, I've never professed that I was as great as Shaq, but I will say I got what I got because I worked my ass off. Now, Shaq has been the one to say it, that he didn't work as hard. He didn't train as hard. He didn't eat as well as he should have. Shaq is the one that anytime someone wins an MVP, he talks about how he should have been MVP over Steve Nash. Yeah, and it was entertaining, with Shaq posting a Google search that showed Shannon's at the number 51 in his league, whereas Shaq's in the top 10 based off of a Google search. He also dropped some bars about Shannon Sharpe.
Oh no, Shannon Sharpe, man, you ain't beneath me. You holding me to a snake as a new rapper beefy. Get soft before you get fly, you rather tweet me.
That seemed a little bit more, play around than serious, but it got weird. It got weird, and these two grown men, retired greats at both their sports, seem like they have fed into this 2024 energy of beef, and y'all both too old for that, first of all. Y'all definitely have both been called out for just how old y'all are and acting the way that y'all been acting and a few times this year. Shaq by Tootsie, you know what I'm saying? Shannon by Jess Hilarious of the Breakfast Club. Like, y'all both been moving kind of weird for brothers y'all age. But on top of that, like, beefing when y'all both successful, y'all both doing y'all thing. It's silly because y'all both do the same thing. Like, Shaq, you get paid to talk about people. Shannon Sharpe, not only in his podcast, but also at his ESPN job, gets paid to talk about people. It's not always going to be favorable. And it's real easy to just feed into, he didn't say something nice about me, let me just insult him. But I guess if you're going to take that position, you got to take what comes with it. I don't get why Shannon keep finding himself in these beefs. But it's also the energy you keep around you. Like I said, to your boy King Combs, like I said, the Drake and Kendrick stuff was coming out. You start your day off with that energy. You got to take what comes with it. You're attracting the energy that comes with it. Like, I was listening to it, but then I had to meditate after, some of these beef tracks. Because I'm like, I can't go through my day waiting for somebody to look at me wrong. What'd you say to me? What? You know what I mean? Like, come on, we ain't got time for that. Like, nigga, I said it, I know that you meant. I mean, like, nobody got time for that. We got to move on. We got to do our best out here and be our best selves. And this beef in nature that everybody doing, we got to move on from that. Shaq, Shannon Sharpe, y'all both too old for this nonsense. Let's go, brothers. Have you heard? I thought this was really positive news, man. I was like, the WNBA, they are now getting charter flights. It's a damn shame that in 2020, any year before this season, 2024, the WNBA has been flying commercial flights. That means you were seeing them in the airport when you was on your way to your connecting flight. You was like, ain't that Rebecca Lobo? ain't that Lisa Leslie? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? The NBA was making mad bread, and the bread didn't change for them to just have charter flights this season. So it was like, but what changed this season? The Caitlin Clark effect. That's right. And they was like, we can't have Caitlin out here in the commercial airports signing autographs, causing riots. So we're like, we gonna have charter flights. I was like, cool. The Caitlin Clark effect is having a good positive effect on the WNBA. Announcement of her Nike deal shined a lot of light on how Nike signature athletes with sneakers were only white athletes in the WNBA, and there are a lot of great black athletes in the WNBA that have no signature shoes until Asia Wilson's announcement. Maybe Caitlin Clark is not only going to bring more big contracts and big money and big eyes, but also, changes like the charter flights. But come to find out that everybody wasn't getting the charter flights at the same time. In fact, Caitlin Clark's team, the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx, were the first to receive their charter flights, while other people still had to fly commercial. And then when asked for a reason why those two teams were given priority to get first to charter flights, the WNBA stated for Caitlin Clark, it was her being a star attraction and having her in airports would create a safety concern. But for Minnesota, they had to travel from Minneapolis to Seattle, which crossed multiple time zones and typically require a connecting flight. But that answer kind of didn't hold water because there were a lot of other teams that had to make connecting flights and cross time zones, such as the Atlanta Dream, flying to play the Los Angeles Sparks on the second night of the season. They got to cross multiple time zones, and they didn't get a charter flight. And a lot of the players within the WNBA felt like voicing their opinions. Brittany Sky said charter flights are given to teams with long, complicated travel before May 21st. We leave May 20th for LA, but we are not flying charter. DC to LA, 5-hour flights. Indy to Connecticut, 1.5-hour flight. No shade, but really interested for the reasoning. At WNBA, at Kathy Engelbert. She says no shade, but she's really wondering, like, come on. Like, Caitlin Clark's really flying an hour and a half and they need a charter flight. Alicia Clark said, can we investigate Kathy on her decisions on who is allowed to charter and who isn't? Not only that, but that was coming after a lot of their preseason games weren't aired, but Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever obviously was aired a few times. They listed an unsafety reason for Caitlin Clark being at the airport, but Brittany Griner was confronted by a YouTuber at the airport, and you know, I mean, with what she's been through internationally, I would imagine that she would have the same amount of safety concerns, if not more, than a Caitlin Clark would. And I came to see, as I did more investigation into the story, that although it is a good thing that they are getting chartered flights, and hopefully that this will be universally equal among all the teams and not an issue of favoritism, I've come to see that even at its rollout, there's still going to be a bit of controversy. And that brings me to my next segment, things I've seen on the internet. I see some crazy things, and I want to show y'all. And one of the funniest things I've seen on the internet involved your girl, Caitlin Clark. I don't think everybody likes her. I think a lot of these veterans are kind of wondering, yo, I've been holding it down for years. Why are we now getting charter flights just because Caitlin Clark is here? Yo, I've been holding it down for years. Why are we now getting this type of media attention just because Caitlin Clark is here? I've never seen these people do the announcing for games at WNBA games before. Oh, but they got the All-Star team here for Caitlin Clark. Okay, I see. They let Caitlin Clark know how they feel. Yeah.
Who has 8 points.
Caitlin Clark, welcome to New York, first of all, playing against the Liberty. But welcome to the WNBA, and Breanna Stewart let her know you about to get all this pick. Take your favoritism right there, Caitlin. That's how we feel about you. Now I feel like maybe her team might be have a little hate in their blood too, because why they ain't warned her that the pick was coming? You know what I'm saying? Like, Shorty literally was right there. Y'all could have called that out. Y'all let Caitlin Clark go down, man. And people are eating that video up. People love to watch the downfall of a person. And we all watch Caitlin's downfall right there. That's the growing pains of being a rookie. You know what I'm saying? She gonna bounce back. And I have a feeling by the end of this season, she gonna get that Rookie of the Year. Just keep your head on the swivel, Caitlin. Keep your head on the swivel, girl. And next up, we got a little quote from your guy, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. This guy's a quote machine, man. He definitely, and it's not his first time on things I've seen on the internet, because he drops some bars every once in a while, man. Let's hear what he has to say about the migrants.
Take a listen.
How do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time, we need lifeguards?
With some users even labeling the mayor a bigot and a racist for suggesting migrants could make good lifeguards because they are excellent swimmers during yesterday's news conference.
How do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time, we need lifeguards?
That's a funny comment for so many reasons, one of them being the assumption that all the migrants can swim. Sometimes you don't know you saying a stereotype out loud until you get told you saying it out loud. Kathy Hochul's comments about black kids was wild.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
But I think this is just equally wild because they didn't all swim here, bro. Especially the ones that got to New York, bro. They took a bus there. The assumption that, I mean, I think his heart was in the right place, but just to assume that migrants who need work would even want to be lifeguards, but assume that they have the ability to do it just because of where they're from is part of the same prejudice that I'm sure Eric Adams has faced in his life as a black man. And just a wild comment to say, but that's the things I've seen on the internet, y'all. Yo, it's your guy DJ Playboy. You can go follow me on X at DJ Playboy. You can follow me on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. You can also follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio, and check out my website www.perfecttalkpodcast.com for everything DJ Playboy, Perfect Talk Podcast. And of course, we got the merch on there, man. We just added some new shirts. Get yourself a mug, man. You know you ain't drinking right unless you're drinking out of a Perfect Talk mug, and we holding it down, man. If you are listening to the audio version, once again, go check us out on YouTube. Not only because I'm wearing a tank top showing off all the muscles and whatnot, but also because it's something to be seen. You know what I mean? Hop in the comments, hit the like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, man. Yo, I'm up out of here. It's your man DJ Playboy. I'm gonna go enjoy my day. I want y'all to spread love. It's the Brooklyn way, and we up out of here, man. Peace.